When the dump cart cast forth its load, it sank into the mire. Who could foresee how great a chain of misfortune this would stir? It was but a commonplace day of labor. Yet by a series of decisions fit to make men laugh and weep, it turned into a strange and wayward affair, a full day's tale of iron beasts struggling for survival. All began with this wagon laden with earth and rubble. Whilst unloading, it plunged without omen into the loosened ground. Its wheels spun wildly in vain, save for carving to deep pits and raising clouds of dust. They served no purpose. Not far away, a bulldozer at work beheld its comrade in peril. Without hesitation, it came swiftly to aid. The driver deemed the tailgate hindered by earth. Thus he deftly lifted the wagon's rear with his blade. The dump cart's driver understood the intent. Straightway he pressed the throttle to its utmost. Yet after the harsh roar subsided, the wagon remained sunken deep in the mire, and moving as stone. One stratagem failing, another was devised. The bulldozer circled behind, ready to push directly. This decision seemed prudent, yet it hastened calamity before all onlookers. The very machine come to the rescue itself sank into the soft rubble. The scene grew instantly awkward. The dump cart still spun its wheels in vain, while the bulldozer's driver, fearing further slippage and a perilous overturn, dared not press the throttle deeply. Thus both remained trapped. A single rescue had turned, in the blink of an eye, into double adversity. The site commander made a swift decision to summon a white bulldozer to render aid. The rescuers used stout steel ropes to bind the white bulldozer to the mired dump cart. The first attempt failed, for the rope slipped off unexpectedly. After firming the fastenings, the second pull prevailed in one stroke. The now laden dump cart was at last drawn back to solid ground. A brief cheer rose upon the scene. Yet the lightheartedness swiftly faded, for all present knew full well that the true trial had only just begun. As for the yellow bulldozer, at this moment, the tracks stood but 10 scant centimeters above the murky waters. Like a man tiptoeing upon the brink of a precipice, he might at any instant slip wholly into the depths below. The driver first sought to save himself. He roused the machine, striving to climb the slope and delay descent, but the ground was too soft and treacherous. The tracks spun madly upon the spot, flinging mud in all directions. Once more the white bulldozer advanced, hooking its blade upon the trap machine and pulling with all its might. Yet by reason of size, It was but one grade smaller than the yellow one, as though a youth sought to drag a burly warrior. No matter how fiercely its engine roared, the other remained unmoved. What was worse? Through several fruitless attempts, the yellow bulldozer, pressed by counterforce, sank ever deeper. At first only its tracks touched water. But soon, murky waters crept to the rear of the driver's cabin. The situation grew perilous beyond measure. The commander on site then made a decision that rendered all present silent. He summoned 2 dump carts to pour fresh rubble into the pit, hoping thereby to raise the ground. Yet the outcome proved contrary. The added weight of the rubble instead pushed the bulldozer further into the mire. Thereafter, the team attempted a grander stratagem, using steel ropes to bind the rescue bulldozer to a light and dump cart in parallel. Both would pull with united force. In theory, such strength could move any earthly vehicle. Yet the truth was thus: even when both rescuers pressed their throttles until smoke rose, the trapped bulldozer remained firm as a mountain. By now the murky waters had entered the cabin itself. The driver's very feet immersed in water. Despair spread across the scene. When a flatbed truck arrived bearing the great bulldozer known as Little Green, the hope that had nearly perished was rekindled. This iron colossus was the mightiest among the 3 bulldozers present. Its arrival seemed to herald the final triumph of the rescue. Yet even as Little Green exerted its utmost strength, though he changed the pulling angle and direction many times, the trapped bulldozer seemed fused with the very earth, refusing all manner of movement. All traditional methods had been employed. All had failed. By now the sky had grown dim. The lights of the roadside night market flickered one by one. In stark, uncanny contrast to the tense air at the rescue site, just as all hands were at a loss, a 21-ton excavator approached slowly through the night. Gliding toward the scene, he did not rush to pull at once. Instead, he wielded his nimble digging bucket, precisely clearing the mud beneath the bulldozer's front system, thus easing the suction of the mire. Only then did he set the bucket firmly, hooking it upon the trapped bulldozer's blade, before the breath-held gaze of all who watched. The excavator let out a deep, steady roar, and began to exert its power, slowly, steadily. After what felt like a full spring's worth of striving, the iron giant sunk deep in the mire. At last, unwillingly, crawled inch by inch, out of the puddle that had nearly become its ironwood tomb. This rescue, fraught with twists and turns, is a faithful mirror of how we ourselves face adversity.